So apologies to any new people or people not initiated to the main controversies. I'll try to do a few videos giving more context, but I'm going to presuppose people know the basic gist that Tom, knife hoarder, and there's no nice way of putting it, that, yeah, he clearly is a Nazi and a white nationalist. Now, the question would be, what kind of white nationalist? Because there are the frothing at the mouth white nationalists who can't control themselves and yell and scream at any Jewish and black person they see. And they don't really care for Hispanics or any non-whites. I don't think knife hoarder to date, we have the evidence he's that kind of white nationalist. But do we have overwhelming evidence he is a white nationalist? Yes, we do. And in fact, knife hoarder cutely is confirming a lot of this evidence. He's not denying the evidence. He's just saying, oh, it's old news. It's been for a couple weeks. Okay. So he's not really denying it. He's just saying, oh, I make fun of white people, so I'm not a racist. Also, when you try to track the videos carefully, because people are in the comment section saying, oh, he talked about it, he explained it. No, he's not. He's not explaining anything. He's just saying and making a lot of assertions, no evidence. So, unlike a lot of people, let's do devil's advocate on all sides. So, knife hoarder's thing is that the people attacking and accusing him are whatever, into the PDF. And that's it. That's what they are. They're pro PDF. Ergo, he's innocent. Also, he's making fun of white people. Therefore, he's not a racist. None of these are logical arguments. And none of this makes any sense. He doesn't even provide evidence for what he's claiming. So he says, in prison, yes, he got these tattoos. And he was a Nazi in prison. That was years ago. Even though he still has an email, although now that's been apparently disabled by Google. So he has an email he's been using for a while with the controversial numbers 1488. I did it in these other videos. Let me just be real quick. It's basically code for white nationalism. If you want more details, I just put up the video, hopefully. You can go there for more of an explanation. So this is not an accident. There's no way you're just typing in 1488 by accident. And he's affirming, yes, that's from my time in prison. That's what he's saying. And now he's saying the Google people don't like that email. So they're going to take away the email. Okay. So he's comfortable using an email because people are like, well, we can't just get rid of the tattoos. That's very expensive. These are tattoos on his body. You can't just get rid of them like that. You can clearly change an email or get a different email. Right? And knife hoarder says he has no problem with the law. He's clean and sober and everything. So getting a new email is not that hard. So why would he use an email that blatantly has white nationalist symbolism? I mean, the nicest interpretation, which is true, and that is his style, that's been his style for a while, is to put out really abrasive, spicy content. But let me not engage in the revisionism that he's engaged in, because we've had back and forth, for the most part, respectfully, where I asked him, well, do you have evidence for this? Because he was putting out some pretty wild accusations. So he says, you point to where I ever just put stuff out there. No, he did it several times. So there's the thing, and I want to be careful. I don't know if it's him. I think definitely Goot did, that they're alleging that Marisa, Kurt, because that's the real name of Johnny Scoville, and Brett, that's who Tommy Scoville is, that Brett, Kurt, and her, and this is where it gets a little crazy, okay, they're having relations with one another, which is a little sickening. Oh, but also the Scoville brothers, Brett and Kurt, might have had relations with their sister. Okay, right. Is there any evidence for this? None that I'm aware of. But they just put it out there that Brett and Kurt are doing things with their sister. Okay, well, I'm not going to put that out there because I don't know if that's true. Also, knife hoarder saying that Kurt, who has a much bigger channel than Brett, and let's be very clear, Kurt is also a scam artist. Brett said that. Brett said, in fact, he's actually worse than I am. He's willing to steal all the money from you. He's a complete con artist. He has a much bigger channel, right? And he gets very little engagement. He still gets decent views here and there, but for a channel that size, it's a good day if he gets like 1,000 views. So that's really strange. That's very, very strange. So Knife Hoarder is saying he's buying subscribers. There's no evidence he's buying subscribers, but he's just putting that out there. So in terms of the substance, again, Knife Hoarder is not dealing with any of the substance. He just keeps saying that when he was in a prison gang, he beat up on really bad people. He's very proud of what he did in prison. And he's saying, hey, you get the real justice in prison. Well, I hate to alert him, but many people would say that if you join an Nazi gang, you should probably be executed, right? Now, I've talked about this before, that I've engaged in radical left-wing politics, radical left activism. I don't want to, and again, I don't want to brag or boast or whatever. I'm not here to do that. I'm just laying out the receipts of what I know. But I've been on the radical right and the radical left. Not Knife Hoarder radical right, but I've been pretty extreme on both sides, disillusioned with both sides. And again, I'm not anywhere close to this kind of left, but I'm talking about people who are outright anarchists, like really extreme left-wing people. And they told me this, that they were part of cells committed to revolution. And they weren't joking. So I've been around those people, and those people are fairly intolerant sometimes. So they would say, okay, so you claim to be a Nazi. Well, maybe you should be executed. I'm not talking. I've been around people like that. They are that extreme. They don't tolerate any kind of, even the whiff of racism. That's enough. That's enough for them. So I don't think Knife Hoarder understands what he's playing with, because some people would say, okay, well, why shouldn't we put you back in prison and execute you? Why? And Knife Hoarder just clearly says, Nazis? The Nazis died years ago. You show me what the Nazis are. Well, okay, since we're doing gaslighting and lying, and by the way, this is not ad hominem, me calling him a Nazi or white nationalist. This is his cap, guys. You look up that business, that cap business, it's in a southern state. And that southern state is notorious for having tons of hate groups, including the KKK, local to the area. So I don't think Knife Hoarder is stupid. He's just gaslighting people. He's just been caught red-handed. And again, I'm still going to praise his early videos, exposing Brett, exposing Marisa. But this is going to be a problem anyway, because clearly a part of the FTG, not all of it, but clearly a part of it, is fine with white nationalism. It is. Clearly, they don't care. They're happy that Knife Hoarder is this extreme. And let's also be clear that, good or bad, Reese put out a decent video that's over 3 hours, and she went through thoroughly a lot of screenshots, the email, the tattoo controversy, clips from Knife Hoarder, and his supporters. And I've seen these screenshots. None of the things are edited or whatever. It's partial information. She's putting it all out there. He's literally not answering a single thing. He just keeps putting out this story that, yeah, I was part of a Nazi gang and I beat up on these really bad people. He doesn't name any names. This is a guy who freely uses private information. He says, I don't care about my YouTube channel. Get rid of it. I don't care. Well, why don't you just tell us who these people are? Did you even go to jail? Why don't you just give us more details? Again, with Brett and Marisa, he's willing to show many things, even if it breaks terms of services, right? Doxes people, privacy. He doesn't care. But with a lot of this part of his own story, just isn't going to provide information. He's not going to provide anything to confirm anything. No independent witnesses. Nothing. Just nothing at all. Nothing. And he just laughs it off. But he's confirming that Google is apparently disabling his email with this controversial set of numbers. So he's not denying these numbers are propaganda for hate groups. And he's just going, oh, the Nazis, they died years ago. Who cares? Okay? But he's really riled up about the PDF. So, and again, because the video would probably get demonetized, I can do it, short. But let me just cut to the chase. If Knife Hoarder is putting out this mythology, which is a lot of these groups do that you can say many things about the Nazis and white nationalists, but at least they don't do that to children. Oh, they respect our young people. They respect women's bodies. Like, what universe are we living in? Now, it's true the media puts out there this moronic, idiotic image of the Nazis and white nationalists, that they're all crazy skinheads and they all just jump around, and they're not cartoons, guys. These are real people. They have families. They're real people, flawed people. But the idea that all of them respect women and children, that none of them have this issue, is one, factually, that's not true. I just did a couple of Google searches. I was able to find quite a few people in those circles, hate groups, whatever we're going to call them, the KKK. They don't care. This thing happens in their groups too. So if you think that the white nationalists have this magical land, that children are safe and none of them are ever touched, you're living in a dream world. So maybe Knife Hoarder's group really had this set of norms and ethics. Nice on them. That is not representative.